Okay, so baits. Okay, so there's a lot of baits, dude. A lot of different baits. So we're just gonna start with easy ones, man. Okay, so this is a Protean Spread. Holy shit. No way I didn't clip Protean. Dude, I don't think I clipped Protean. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Leo's got me, dude. He's got me, dude. Okay, so you might hear the phrase Protean Positions. So what does Protean Positions mean? Basically, Protean Positions is either stack up and bait out the Protean Wave, or you have to get into your clock positions or Protean Positions. They're also called clock positions as too. Also cleaver positions, but if you've played this game for a while, you're going to probably default to calling them Protean Positions. And the reason why is because in A3, there was Living Liquid, and he does a mechanic called Protean Wave. And that is where we got Protean Positions. So in this particular case, this is a bait mechanic. So this first line is an AoE that goes on players, okay? So as you can see, me and Bach are kind of stacked up. So our Protean waves are really stacked, okay? And the same for the party. Look at all these different waves back here, okay? The whole fucking party's back here. So you bait out the initial wave. Here's where it's important to actually get into your Protean positions, because your Protean positions, that was just the bait. These are your actual positions because you cannot overlap. The reason why this is a bait mechanic is because this will target the closest people. So you're gonna see another wave come out, and it's gonna target like that. So let's watch. Bam! Now you see this? This is a bait. All right, now you see how that works? This is why they're called Protean Positions, because you need to be in a certain position to bait out this mechanic. If you're not, then you're gonna kill everybody, okay? Also, because you got hit with a Protean Wave, you also get this. So that means you can't take the second one. If you take the second one, this is water resistance down. You'll die. At the same time as these lines go out, there's another bait that's back here. So in this case, Living Liquid will target the closest people with this Protean Wave and the farthest people with this AoE that you need to move out of. Now you can stack these AoEs, it's fine. But after you place these and after these go off, you need to bait again. And then second bait, look at the positions here. Timmy's on the hitbox, Rin's inside, Mel is inside, and Arthur's is on the hitbox. The next closest person is like me, and I'm like max melee or close to. So then, bam, they're gonna get hit with these. You'll notice this Protean Wave right here. This is a non-baitable Protean Wave. This one always happens, okay? But the point of all this is to show you that, you know, Protean Wave is a baitable mechanic, okay? You need to be able to bait. So you bait, you bait the first one, the ones you just move out of, and then these, the ones you're guaranteed to get hit by, the close people. At the same time, the far people bait the AoE, then the far people move in. That's just how you do it. So that's Protean Wave. Now this is a Protean Spread. Remember what we talked about, Protean Positions or clock positions. So what's gonna happen is that the Protean Wave is gonna come out like this. Now it's important that you're not stacked up for this. This works exactly the same. So this is Protean. All right, now watch. Bam! See this shit? This is the same mechanic as Living Liquid. For this mechanic, it's gonna be a spread. So after the Protean, there's gonna be a spread. So you see all these explosions? So here's an explosion here, here's an explosion here, there's one here, there's one all the way back here. You know, you guys, okay, you guys get it. Again, it repeats the Protean, except for this time after the Protean, you just need to gonna be a spread. That's it. All right, so here's Protean Stack. The same exact thing, except for instead of spreading, you're gonna have to stack with a buddy. The game likes to do this, where it puts tank / healer and DPS together. This is the same exact thing as earlier. You have your Protean positions, but instead of spreading this time, I'm gonna move clockwise. This person's gonna move clockwise. This person's gonna move clockwise. This person's gonna move clockwise. And you're gonna create 4 stacks around the boss. And these stacks are gonna be wide peepo happy. And the reason why it's gonna be wide peepo happy is because it's gonna be with a buddy. Because you're not gonna stack alone, you're gonna be with a friend. So boom, there's the Protean, buddy, boom. See that? There's 4, there's one right here, there's one right here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. So you got Protean Spread, Protean Stack, but it's always Protean. Protean this, Protean that. Sometimes you will have to bait things that are not based on the boss, but based on the environment. So in this case, this big ass tornado here, this tornado needs to be baited because it fires out a Protean Wave. Remember the Protean Wave from the earlier clip where we all stacked up and then we spread, and then the closest people got hit. This is the same thing, except for it's not on the boss, it's on the tornado. Remember this bait from the boss? Same exact thing. So bait, and then you get hit. Okay, so here's the tornado. Now here's my character. I have like maybe 25% of my dick actually in this tornado, okay? So no one's closer to the tornado than me. That's why that it gets baited on me, because I'm just the closest. That's all it is. I want to go over some dive bombs here. Dive bombs are bait-like mechanics where you have to place them. It's also kind of like a movement mechanic. We're starting to get into the area where it's kind of a bait, but also kind of a movement mechanic. It kind of like meshes them together. Throughout this game, dive bombs have came back, but not as strong. Sometimes we refer to mechanics loosely, like they're not exactly dive bombs, but they're dive bomb-like. You might not see dive bomb too much, but if you intend on doing UCOB, it's very, very important. This is a dive bomb. Basically, you have a big nasty monster that fucking sweeps at you. You'll notice this marker here. This marker went over this person's head. What this means is this big fucking dragon right here, you basically need to put this marker where you want the dragon to dive. You obviously don't want to leave this marker in the middle here, because if you do, this dragon's going to dive through the middle and he's going to fucking kill everybody. So what you do is you take it to the edge, because it changes the dragon's trajectory. So instead of going like through the middle, it's going to do this. It's going to go right here. So that means that like the entire middle of the arena is safe, and this dragon is going to go up here, and then there's going to be another dragon. We'll just say the other dragon's right here, but the other dragon's going to dive like this. So if you place this, you place it on here on the edge, the dragons are going to do this instead of this, if that makes any sense. Here is another dive bomb. In this particular part, you get 3 dive bombs. There is a dragon here. So you don't want to leave this dive bomb in the middle, or else the dragon will just dive through the arena just like the other was. So what this person's going to do, they're going to put the dive right here so that this dragon goes this way. The same thing is the first one, except for just in a different location. Okay? And then you have the last one. You have this last one, and you're going to place it somewhere around this area. Basically want to place them so that they're not in the middle of the arena. So let's watch. Remember how the person put the dive bomb right here? This is where the dive bomb was. So that means that everything in this area is D, E, D, dead. So that's the first dive. This is the second dive. Now remember, the second dive went down here. This dive went like this. Now you see how it's out of the middle? Nobody got hit by that one. So those are dive bombs. So now you know you basically get a marker over your head, and you need to place that marker where you want the dive bomb. Now, not all dive bombs work like that. That's the basic concept of a dive bomb, okay? Here is another form of dive bomb. So this is the same shit, except for the first one works just a little differently. Okay, now you see this like, you see this one right here? This one is a different color. It looks a little different than this one. This one is baited immediately. Right when it appears, that's where it's gonna go. That particular dive bomb is coming from Nael. So that means that right when this marker appears, instead of moving to a location and placing it, you have to pre-position. Right when this one appears, Nael is gonna lock in, and they're gonna come down like this. The Nael dive bomb already locked in. The green ones are a little different, okay? The green ones you place or whatever, okay? So watch, you can kind of see it. Right here. See all right here? This is where Nael already dove. Basically, for this particular dive bomb, instead of getting the marker and then placing it, you have to pre-place. Now these, as we run around the arena, we're actually placing all of these dive bombs, okay? We're actually placing all of these dive bombs. Now, these last 2 dive bombs, it's going to be a red and a green. This one works the same as Nael. Right when you get the marker, it's placed. So because the marker appeared right here, Bahamut is going to dive like this. Now, when Bahamut dives, we are going to be all the way over here. So we're going to be out of harm's way. All right, now watch. See Bahamut? He's even looking in this direction. All right, now we're going to get one final dive bomb. Sakuya is going to get this. Twins dive bomb is going to lock in position just like Bahamut's and just like Nael's immediately right when it spawns. Let's watch. Ah, shit. You couldn't see them get the marker, but you see it right here. But basically, when they were right here, the marker appeared over their head, and then they ran this way. Trust me, the marker was there. And then Twin's going to dive. Okay. Those are dive bombs. Now, like I said, dive bombs, they're not like super common nowadays, but because UCOB is super fucking popular right now, you need to know what a dive bomb is. We'll just talk about Twister real quick. Twister is a little bit of a bait, a little bit of a movement. Twister mechanics have appeared multiple times. In E11, there's Twisters. There's another mechanic called Okrai that is the same. Basically, whenever you have to position yourself and wait for a particular moment in the cast bar and then move your character, that is a Twister-like mechanic. There is a ton of Twister-like mechanics, but the reason why we call them Twister is because of T5. This was the first iteration of that. What a Twister is, it's basically a bomb underneath you. So the boss tries to place a bomb underneath you. So if you look at this cast, you need to stay in the place you want the bomb to be until about right like here. When you're right about here, you move your character. You're not under the bomb. So watch. Okay, now you see how I did that? I'm right here, but I don't want my Twister to be right here. That's why I take a step back and I place it right here and then I move back up. Now there's a ton of different ways that you can dodge Twisters, okay? You can dodge like this, you know, you can J hook it, you know, you can even run in a fucking circle. Although I want to say if you run in a fucking circle, don't run into your own Twister because I've seen that happen. So, you know, you just move towards the end of the cast, that's it. And then you see these little bombs? These are bombs. What happens when you run into one of those? What happens, Strummer? All right, now watch. Sakuya's gonna get a Twister and Silver Wolf is gonna Papega right into this. See ya! That's what happens when you hit a Twister. You don't want to hit a Twister, okay? So those are Twisters. Now they appear, like I said, you know, they're in E5, they're in E11. I'm sure there's other places, but basically whenever you have to place a bomb, it's pretty much a Twister. Earthshakers. Earthshakers have appeared in many fights. All it is a marker that goes over your head and a line AoE that comes out from the epicenter of the boss. It comes out to where you place it. So this is a little bit of a bait, a little bit of a movement. This is an Earthshaker. I am pretty sure that most Earthshaker mechanics will always look like this. They will always have this type of indicator. Earthshakers have been used a shit ton of times and they always work like this. I don't think they've ever been different outside of putting a puddle underneath you. Sometimes they put a puddle underneath you and sometimes they don't. But the basic concept of a line AoE coming from the epicenter of the boss is always the same. So we spread around the boss. Okay, boom, now it's locked in. We'll just say the boss's epicenter is like, I don't know, like here, right? Center of the arena. So that means that there's gonna be an Earthshaker like this. Like that. So you need to spread these out. This is gonna put an AoE underneath me when it hits me, so I need to move out of it. Okay, these are fucking wide, boys. That means everything in this arena is dead. And it also puts a debuff on you. Earth resistance down. So you cannot get hit by 2. If you get hit by 2, you are D-E-D. Dead. There's a safe zone back here around the 1. All right, you see this? We'll just use this D. E-D. Dead. I put the D here on purpose because I was doing this video. So those are Earthshakers. Limit cut is a very horrible mechanic, okay? Limit cut is so bad. Limit cut is hard. You're gonna have numbers appear over your head, and it's gonna be in the form of like a domino, I guess, like dots, right? So like you're gonna have 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot. It's gonna be a number, but it's gonna be in the form of dots. They're gonna be 2 different colors. The odd are gonna be blue, and the even are gonna be red. So the odd number ones, the blue ones, you know, 1, 3, 5, 7, those are gonna be cleaves. Let's say that I have 1. So the cleave is going to go like this, wherever I'm facing. Let's say there was a person here. Number 2 is going to be a dash. So it goes cleave, dash, cleave, dash, cleave, dash. Okay, you know what I'm saying. This mechanic has popped up originally in A11. And how you handled limit cut was you took the cleave and then the dash was behind you. If you take a cleave, you cannot take a dash. If you take a dash, you cannot take a cleave. Now I got 4, okay? So you don't have to worry about these explosions here. That's not the point. The point is just focus on the cleaves and dashes. Every limit cut will go in order. If you're 1, you can't get hit by 2. All right, so Bach is 3. I am 4. Okay, cleave. What's going to happen next is because I'm an even number, there's going to be a dash. Dash. It happens in other fights too, but whenever you see numbers presented to you in this way with the dots, it's gonna be a limit cut. The cleave is based on where you're facing. It is very, very, very important to understand you need to face the correct decision. And also the dash, if you're not looking at the dash will knock you back. The cleave always knocks you back unless you pop arm's length. So see how Arthur's got knocked back there? All right, so that's limit cut. Yo, moving right along, boys.